Dear Journal, there is an option on my GPS unit to calibrate my compass, and when I select it, it tells me to spin around twice, slowly, real slow. I have no idea if this makes a difference in anything, and I suspect that it in fact is designed just to make me look silly. I figure though a good calibration could help me out as I roamed around the Rancoca State Park in New Jersey. I had planned on this being a day of geocaching kind of entry, but for the most part nothing really presented itself as out of the ordinary. Pretty standard stuff along the trail, and what with all the leaf cover, I was surprised I actually found 100% of the caches I had set out to find, including a premium mystery that I DNF'd back in the summer. It was in the middle of the second stage of that mystery when I made myself a note.
So, when I messaged the owner from my failure last time and asked for help, he, or she, I'm assuming he, said, just pay attention to the ground, which I guess is not something I did first time round. You know what, side note, Journal, there are people that feel like asking the cache owner for a hint is silly. Note to self, make a little journal entry about that. Alright.
So, does asking for some help defeat the purpose of this game, or perhaps the spirit? In a completely different scenario, I was scouring the log entries of another cache trying to get some clues and came across an entry where a cacher shared these thoughts. And I quote, "What really jumped out at us on the ride home was the number of people who required hints and phone calls to retrieve this cache, and therein lies the problem, at least with us. We just don't understand how this is a find when someone tells you where it is. But what we have never done is called someone to tell us where a cache is if we can't find it. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of the game? If we can't find a cache, we move on. There are a million more to get. We may stop back if we are in the area at another time, but I cannot understand having someone tell you where a cache is and taking the find. Let's stop with the phone-a-friend nonsense and find our own caches, so we all know that when I see you have 10,000 caches, I respect that you actually found 10,000 caches, not 9,000, and those last 1,000 were gimmies." Well, since I don't have any geocaching Fs to use my P on, I posted this and my question on the geocaching subreddit, and what I gathered from the responses was that most people don't want to be bothered by what other people think about how the game should be played. Do your thing, have fun, don't mess with other people's games. There were others that agreed with the log entry, and one person brought up what I thought was a very interesting point. If you cache as a group, what if you're not the person who finds the cache but still signs it anyway? How's that different to phoning a friend or whatever? Journal, you know I am also a solo cacher, so I can't add too much input to the group aspect there, but what I can add is that I am guilty of messaging cache owners a few times for extra nudges. No PAFs for this guy. Just whack off, or write a cache owner for help. Is that the same thing as a PAF? I think contacting the CO for a nudge after visiting the site and making several attempts is a far cry from calling someone who has found a cache and flat out asking them where the hide is, therefore bypassing a puzzle, multi-stage, or intense search. So what do you think, Journal? Find it yourself or not at all? I'm still on the fence about how I feel. I sort of agree with the person who wrote that log, sort of. I don't know how interested in geocaching I would be though without being able to get some help here and there. I need to ponder this more. I'll leave you with this thought from this dilapidated house in Rancocas that I can't believe they haven't tore down yet.
I love cheese. As do I. As do I.